guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mike and I'm a physical associate student at UCLan. Today this is just a quick vlog. I'll be taking you guys with me to study and then we'll be addressing a topic which an issue really which I encountered in med school. So basically the other day I was doing this literature review we had to do for uni, and then I was in my room, I was trying to do this review and I was really struggling with it. So I don't know, I just took my laptop and I went downstairs to the kitchen and I sat there and I started working. And then I found out that for some reason I was more productive in a way, like I was able to do way more work. So then I made an hypothesis. So I'm thinking a change in environment can help increase productivity. So that's what basically I want to try this out. So I went on Google and I typed places to study in Preston, which is the city where I'm at right now. And this cafe came up first and looked at the picture, it looks really nice. I can't remember the name right now, but I'm going there. So I decided today Saturday, I decided to go there and do a quick study, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours intense study. And then I was also talking about a topic which is taking notes essential or necessary in med school. And instead of just sitting there and doing like a whole video where I just talk about that, I'll talk it through as I go. So as I'm studying, I'll take breaks and just give my insights on the topic. And this is an issue like I face myself because I'm not really a note-taking person. And then I came to med school from college, from my A-levels, and I had to change method and everything. So I had a little bit of issues with this topic. So yeah, I'll basically just talk about that and see how the day goes, and I'll catch you guys later. Okay guys, I'm back. Little bit about the place. It's actually a nice place, nice and cozy. The food was okay. But back to the topic we're talking about, taking notes if it's essential in med school. So a little like story about myself. Personally, I've never note taking was never my thing. Like in college, my A-levels, I didn't really used to take notes. And the reason why I didn't really take notes for like 3 reasons. My handwriting was really bad, and most of the time when I took notes and then I went back to it, I couldn't understand what I was writing anyway, so it was kind of useless to me. And then it was never like a requirement. Like I was never forced to take notes, and I never saw the need of taking notes. It was just like a waste of time to me, so I never did that. So and I was okay. Like the method I was in college without taking notes, I was okay. I passed my A-levels and I was fine. But then I went to med school and I met some people and we talked about study techniques. And basically what I found out was like 90%, if not more, of my mates all take notes. So I started to doubt myself. I started to ask myself, like, maybe they're using the right method, I'm using the wrong method. Maybe the method I use in college is not enough and I need to start taking notes. And I was just going through like thoughts in my head, like, so what am I supposed to do? Should I start taking notes or not? And it got me confused for a while, so I was so scared that my method wouldn't work in med school. I was basically like peer pressured into taking notes, and I decided to like explore this method because I thought my method wouldn't work for med school, so I was scared. So I decided like, and I was also curious, like let me try this note-taking method out and see how it works for me. And then I tried it for like a few weeks, and I'll just tell you guys how like my experience about it. But this place where I am is about to close, so I'll like pack my stuff and leave, and I will give you guys the rest of the story afterwards. So bear with me. Okay, guys, back to my story. So as I was saying in the shop, I started this method of note taking to see if it was actually effective, and because I'm curious, and I was also scared, as I said before. So I started for a few weeks, I'd say. But then I had to stop, like I just couldn't do it. And these are the reasons why. Number one reason was that it was taking me too much time. Like it was taking me too much time to make my notes. I would watch YouTube videos of people taking notes, and I took my note digitally on my iPad with the Apple Pen. And I would see YouTubers taking their notes, and it would look nice with colors and everything. So I was trying to replicate that. So it was just taking me time. My handwriting, I was trying to make my handwriting look its best, but I was struggling with that. And I don't know, I was also like struggling to structure my notes. Like I really didn't know how to take notes. So I would see how other people would structure their notes, put in cloud boxes and separate them, while mine was more like boring notes. I was just writing stuff one thing after the other. So I was just struggling. Like I would be doing the lecture, and then I would want to write something down, then I would be looking at my iPad for like a minute trying to figure out how to make it look nice. And then I just found out that I wasn't very productive. It wasn't very effective for me. So that was the number one reason why I stopped. Number two reason why I stopped is that I found that wasn't really helpful for me. So I've heard people say, oh, when I take notes, when I write stuff down, it goes into my head. It wasn't the same for me. I couldn't do the same. So it was either I was trying to memorize and understand this stuff, or I was writing it down. I couldn't do both at the same time. Like when going through a lecture, I would either write stuff down first, so I would see, I would look at the lecture slide, or maybe listen to the lecture recording, and I will write stuff down. Then I will start trying to understand this stuff, and then and memorize the stuff, or I will do the other way around. So I will try and understand it first, memorize it, then write it down. But it was taking me ages. Like it was taking me too much time, and I found out that it wasn't really a method that was like, it wasn't working for me basically. So I basically decided that taking notes probably wasn't a method for me. So I stopped again. I just told myself there are probably other methods out there that would be better for me. So I started looking for other method, and while I was doing so, I started reading this book called Make It Stick. This book was about the most effective way to learn stuff. But what the book is trying to say is that the best way to learn stuff is to engage in activities that require you to use brain power. So for example, the book was saying like stuff like note taking doesn't really use much brain power, because what you're doing, you basically just like maybe writing down the important stuff from your lecture slide in another paper. So you're not really using much brain power. But the other techniques that work are the one that require more brain power. So for example, your flashcards. So when you use flashcards, you're answering questions and you have to think about the answer. So using brain power. So the book is basically saying that these are the methods that are more effective. So reading this book gave me the confidence to be able to say no to note taking. So I stopped it, and I tried to use other methods. Like I tried making questions for myself. I'm going to make a separate video on the method I use now and how effective it is. But that'll be a separate video. But basically, I just stopped note taking and I decided to use other method. So going back to the question, is note taking essential for med school? In my opinion, it's not essential, because like as this book told me, note taking doesn't really require much brain power, so it's not the best. There are so many methods out there. So although all my friends were still doing that, I felt confident in using other methods that would work for me. But what says this? Everyone is different. So note taking might be helpful for some people and it might be unhelpful for other people. For me, it wasn't working for me. So my advice would be like, try stuff out. Be curious. If you're someone that takes notes already, try out the method as well. You might find something better than note taking. If you're someone that haven't taken notes before, try note taking as well, because you might start taking notes and it will work. So about the negative of note taking, like meaning that you don't really use brain power, the way to counteract this problem is basically try to use brain power to make your notes. So basically, I would go through my lecture, I would try to understand it and memorize it, right? Then maybe the day after or 2 days after, I would try and make notes on the lecture from my head. So instead of looking at my lecture slides and then making notes, I would just get my iPad, get a blank paper, and I'll start writing, start making notes. So I was making notes, but I was doing it actively. This wasn't just a passive rewriting what was in the lecture slide. It's an active way of taking notes. So I was basically getting information which I had understood and memorized days before and putting it into my notes. So that was using brain power. So that was, in my opinion, an effective way of taking notes. There are other ways of taking notes that requires you to use more brain power, which in my opinion are more effective. So for example, if you're someone that really likes taking notes, you could still take notes, but you could implement this method that would make you use brain power to make it more effective. Just to make a conclusion, there is no method that can work for everybody. So when coming to med school, you're scared because it's med school, and then you could be peer pressured to try method that everyone is using because it seems right. Don't fall into that pressure. Just try stuff out, find the one that is best for you. And my advice will be, try the stuff that would require you to use brain power, because it's proven that the more brain power you use, the more effective is your learning. I said I was going to test out if a changing scenario was going to help. It helped to go into the cafe to study. It took a while to get used to the place. So I went there, I ordered some food, and I had my food, and I got my laptop, and it took a while to just get used to the place. But then when I got into the studying, I liked it. I was just into, and I didn't want to go. I was there for hours, and then I was basically like kicked out because it was getting late. But yeah, it's helpful. Like, I'm looking forward to go to other places, because sometimes like going to the library is fine, and I do that as well, but it's just the same thing, the same place, or just a change of scenario. It helped me. The downside is that obviously people were coming in, maybe with kids were crying, and it could distract you. Me personally, I'm okay studying with music, so all I did was I put my headphones and I just put some music on, so I wasn't really hearing them as much. But I know some people can do that, so that can be the only downside. So maybe if you're looking for like a place, find a place more quiet. But overall, it's a nice experience. So that's it for me, guys. Like the video, subscribe if you guys have any other questions on, I don't know, effective way to study, or any courses in general about university or about the PA program. Let me know. I'll try to make a video about it. See you guys later. Have a nice day. Bye.